Obviously, a fun weekend, a weekend that, obviously you're proud of your kids, the fight, the grit they had in them, the ups and downs, and in the game of football. And I gave you, probably a lot of details after the game, and there's not a lot of details after the game that you watch on tape that you kind of saw it like it was out there. Still a lot of details that we have to clean up, can clean up. A lot of things happened out there, good and bad, just like they do every win or loss. But just proud of the football team, the way they stick together. Again, like I said, a lot of grit and guts that this football team has, and that's how you win football games. We just got to continue to progress. Obviously proud of the discipline they had, and we had 3 penalties on defense, 2 offsides, and a pass interference, which was a good call, and probably you'd say do it again if you felt like we made a slight adjustment after that one play, and they never could go back to it again. So it was a great job by our coaching staff. But a lot of great performances out there. I hit most of them, I think, on Saturday after the game. So I'll just leave it to you guys to ask questions about those if you want to go backwards. But I'm looking forward to Notre Dame, and when I'm saying looking forward, I don't know if I'm looking forward to playing the number 5 team in the country, because they're awful good. Maybe as good a football team you're going to see, that Notre Dame's ever had. I think. I mean, Ian Book is a. You hate to say it every week, like could you face a better one? But I thought McSorley's excellent. I thought McKenzie was excellent. I think Dungy's excellent. He scrambles, makes plays to defeat, and then all of a sudden here we got a guy named Book. The guy named Book, and you're like, where'd this guy come from? Where's Wimbush? Wimbush is really good. St. Peter's Prep High School Jersey guy. Then there's Book, and Book is offensively, he's making things click. He can run. He's tough. He'll run you over. Jerry, you better watch out on the sideline if you're standing around. He'll take you out too. He's got the whole package. I think they found their guy. Their tailbacks, their wideouts. Defensively, Jerry Tiller, the tranquil kid at linebacker. I mean, they got a football team. The receivers are big. I can't tell the difference between the tight ends and the receivers. I think our guys are going to get confused. They put them all in the 80 numbers, and you can't tell. They're all big. They're all fast, and we'll have our hands full when we get out there Saturday at 3:30, 2:30 Central. So, questions?
And what are all the elements that you go into a big upset? What has to be happening with your team for that to happen?
We're not thinking about big upsets. We're thinking about us. We think about the guys in this room and us doing the details of what we need to do to be good on the first play of the game. And then as soon as the first play of the game's over, we go to the next play and play one play at a time. And that's how you win football games. And we're not talking any upsets. We never do. We're talking about us and being a better football team and executing. So and it's a matter when you execute and you believe in what you're doing, and those are the keys to playing well and having a chance to win the football game. That's all. You just want a chance. And we have yet to do that. We get to go on the road, which is always another challenge. We'll be playing it. I've been in that stadium plenty of times. I know what it's like. I know. I've sat and watched tape of 2015 when they came here and what they did, how they did it. All their screens, we've seen everything. And they're very similar to what they were then. I mean, they don't change much. Brian Kelly, Coach Long is a coordinator, but Brian Kelly, he's a master offensive guru. And he's a great football coach. He may not be calling it, but I know he has a lot of input because you see his fingerprints over everything they do on offense. And then Clark Lee, their defense coordinator, who came from Wake, has been there in his second season, first year as a coordinator, does a great job and very sound. I've known Clark. I've sat in a meeting room with Clark and talked football and defense. Guys as sharp as you can get, and there's there's no doubt why they're having success, because they're consistent, they're smart, they got good players, they keep it simple, and and they let those guys make plays. They got some creatures out there. I mean, the Tiller kid's 6'7", 305. He's a monster. They should probably have a new cartoon after that guy. You got Superman, you got Tiller Man. I mean, that guy, he's a beast.
What kind of makes Notre Dame different from Penn State and Central Florida? Like how are they different than those teams?
They got guys from all over the country. First of all, I think they, obviously they got some great Pittsburgh kids, PA kids on their football team. But they recruit all over the country, so they've got flavor everywhere. And you know, they've been recruiting long enough to have what they want in their offense and their defense. And I think, you know, they walk into high schools, they get what they want. Let's put it that way. And you know, they got a beautiful place to sell, and you know, and I mean, it's a great product, and kids love it. So I mean, they walk into high school. It's I don't want to say it's easy because nothing's easy, but you know, they're pretty easy. It's easy to recruit, and they get some players.
You know, I know that you've said that going into a big game like this against a top 10 team, that you don't typically make that too much of a point of emphasis with your players and trying to make them believe that they can win a game like that by points in the past. But how much, for guys who, especially for guys who've been here a couple years, how much does the Clemson win, the team Miami win, how much does that knowledge and that experience of having done it maybe help them going into a game like this?
You know what? It's a different football team. I mean, that was a year ago, 2 years ago. It's a different football team. It's a different, you know, culture as far as who they are, you know, who they think they are, who they've become. But you know, just like Jerry asked, you know, I think a very similar question, Craig. I mean, it's you know, you take it one day at a time and one play at a time and see what happens. But you know, the focus is not on, hey, let's go do this, because you don't get here unless you get here. And we got to do the one thing, one play, and focus on what we do, and then the rest will take care of itself. If you take care of the little details, the big things take care of themselves. And the big thing would be an upset, but the upset's not going to happen if you think about the big things. It's all the fine details of what we need to do that are critical.
You mentioned struggling with some protection against Syracuse's athletic defensive line. Obviously, you run blocked really well. Is that sort of a first for you when you have an offensive line that's doing really well on one aspect and kind of struggling at the other at the same time?
No, I mean, it's not, you know, again, you know, is it struggling at it, or those dudes? I'm just telling you, Syracuse's D-line is legit. I mean, just go, you know, I don't think Clemson's got a bad offensive line. It's like, I mean, we knew going into the game they were really good, okay? And then, you know, you saw it, and again, we had some busts, you know, that didn't help, and we gave, we didn't do some things right, too, protection-wise. Hopefully there's a guy on them, you know, but, you know, we took, you know, some of our motion stuff took away some of the things they did, but you know, they're a good football team, and you know, they'll win a lot of football games here the rest of the year. You know, they got Florida State, Clemson out of the way. I mean, you know, I think they'll roll through the Atlantic Division with their tempo and with their players, and you know, and with what they do is they need to keep their confidence because they got a good football team.
Do you feel like your line is run blocking better than this past stuff?
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously, you know, they like to run block, they like that attitude stuff. So we certainly are. You know, was it the, you know, and again, people have been, you know, been blitzing us even more. They see a little weakness, and you know, your resume is what you put on that videotape, on that screen, and when you show that, hey, maybe, you know, pressure is causing you problems. We're going to see some pressure out of Notre Dame, and we got to react to it. We got to have a good game plan, and we got to give our guys a chance. We got to give Kenny a chance to set in the pocket and make a decision. We haven't done a great job at that. We got to, you know, first play of the game, he shoots it out there, you know, and then after that, felt like we didn't get in a rhythm where he's got time. We got to give Kenny time.
Coleman isn't on the team too deep here. What do you as coaches still need to see?
You said he's not?
He's not on here.
Yeah, well, Theron's done a great job. Let me just tell you, you know, that too deep. You know, EJ doesn't even show it to me anymore. He just says, hey, you want to change anything? I say, yeah, throw an oar over here just to mess with him a little bit. We don't look at the depth charts very much. But Theron Coleman, guys, you know, Theron's gotten better. I'm just so fired up for that kid. He needed that, you know, DeMar Hamlin's playing at a high level. You know, you guys will figure that out here pretty soon. But he's playing really good. Theron's playing, you know, playing good. And you know, I think, you know, it's like I told the team last night, you know, you never know when that one play is going to be that you make an impact and it changes your whole life. And that one play could change his whole career as far as what he's doing here. It'll give him more confidence walking in this door tomorrow for practice. He needs to practice at a higher level. Sometimes he doesn't practice as good, and you know, he's like, "Oh, for sure, coach, I'm a gamer." I was like, "Well, you better start to be a practicer too." But you know, Theron's a super kid. He's always got a smile on his face. I'm happy for him because I think it just helps him in his confidence moving forward. And he's a guy that, you know, played for us last year at Syracuse. Up there, we had a lot of confidence. He came out of the game, and how much nickel do we run? This is a week that with these big old receivers that we need some big old corners. I can tell you that. And Theron's a guy that we're going to play some nickel. We're going to play some base, and he'll get some reps at base corner as well, and he can also be a safety as well. So we're going to have to, he's earned, he make plays. I mean, I've seen guys go out on the field and cover guys, but not make plays. That was a heck of a catch. That wasn't just an average catch. That wasn't like I remember we've had catches where you catch it like this, and you could have caught it, Craig. And I haven't seen your ball skills, but I'm assuming you could. I know Jerry could because I've seen his athletic ability already. But that was a great. It was great coverage, great route, and he made a play in a big time of the game. I mean, that was a monumental play, and I'm happy for him.
So it's fair to say it's probably just an oversight of you.
So it's his fault.
My bad.
Blame him. I don't type those things up.
When you're in nickel, Pat, I know you don't really get what your game plan, but does that lead your cornerbacks more help than they get in your base defense?
No. They're always on an island. You watch college football, you watch pro football, they're on an island.
An extra guy back there that helps.
What's that?
An extra guy back there helps.
Jerry, come on, man. There's only 11 guys. Tell me where that extra guy's coming from.
Extra guy, second.
Where's he at? There's only 11. They ain't giving us 12. We're going to have another clinic with you, I guess. We'll have to jump at the podium over there and go. But, no, there's 11 guys out there just changing up who they are, where they're at, and how we're, but, like you said, we won't give away the game plan. But it puts another speed guy in the field. That's what it does. But it doesn't put any extra. There's no extra players anywhere. Everybody's got to do their job, and it just moves things around a little bit. It's not really a gigantic deal. It's just different.
You like the way they played nickel the last 2 weeks?
I do, yeah. It's been good for us. Yeah, it was better this past week, for sure.
How has, sort of, talk about kind of 2 weeks ago, Mathis played a lot and pretty well last week. How has the development of those guys made that transition a lot easier for you to take on?
Yeah, I mean, the last 2 weeks it's been two different nickel guys, and we've, just looking at matchups and who matches up with who. We felt like we needed our corners to be bigger, like we'll need this week, and put, a smaller guy inside, so we're able to, use, Mathis inside. We need Pinnock outside. And Pinnock, and we're really at the corner spot, we're playing the hot guys. I mean, Jason Pinnock had a great week last week. I guess, for the UCF game, did a good job at the nickel. Then he goes and has another great week at corner, and he's playing at a high level on special teams. But we're playing the hot guys. The guys are doing the little things right. It's not about who's the best and who's the best player out there. It's about who's making the plays and who's doing the detail things right. Who's doing the right thing in practice and in the game, and that's who gets to play out there. And Felipe didn't get as many reps. Maybe it's because of size and matchup more than anything. I really kind of felt bad after the game because he's played at a high level all year. But Jason Pinnock was playing good, so it's like leave him in there, keep him up there. He's big. That 17 was a good football player. We pretty much I think he had one catch, kinda. I don't know, so.
Lemire once had that interception last week. Is that like a new wrinkle, or is that has that been there all along?
It's been there all along. We just decided to highlight him there. It's just another tweaking, I guess. Amir, I'm happy for Amir. I told him I think that ball got stuck in your chin strap. I don't know if you really caught it or not. But again, another kid you're happy for. He's worked. He's had a really good year. He works his tail off every single day, and he's a good kid, and he did play that perfect. He could have occupied the guy a little longer, but we've dropped off guys all the time, and whether it be a D end, a D tackle, or Mike's that'll show up there and get out. So we got ways of moving guys around, but that was part of what we did last week. We actually did against him last year too. You just didn't notice it because he didn't get a pick. So it was something we thought would be good against him. And sometimes it works, and sometimes the quarterback scrambles up the middle and the D tackles are dropping out there, and it's not good.
I feel like your defensive line is pretty athletic to have a tackle drop back and that play. You stood up. Guys like Weaver and Fultz on a good bit. Does their athleticism give you the versatility to do things like that?
It does. But whether you stand up and put your hand down, I don't know if there's a whole lot of difference there. We got to make plays on the quarterback. They're going to keep the quarterback, and the quarterback can run. We got to be disciplined this week. And Ian Book's a good football player, so we'll see how athletic we are this week, and we get to South Bend.
Pat, with your offense, are there some things you can do in terms of play calling just to sort of build the passing game back up? Is there a need to sort of, either build the confidence in them or just get them in a rhythm?
We got to get them in a rhythm, and again, you take what you're giving you. I don't know, 16 of the last 17 plays, we ran the football, and pretty much threw the ball the one time just to stop the clock because we were running out of timeouts. See if we can take a shot and win the game instead of putting it in overtime. But you do that, you almost give up a sack, you take another hit on your quarterback. But we got to progress. That's a goal this week is we got to get that passing game going against an athletic secondary and an athletic pass rush this week. So we got to do some good things to help change it up.
There were a lot fewer penalties against Syracuse than UCF. I think there were
like 100 less.
Yeah, 100 less.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there something you can point to in the preparation, or is it just more details and discipline?
You know what? I don't know what. Sometimes I feel like they're listening to us. Sometimes, you know how you got with your kids. How many people got kids in here at Boston? I know your kid doesn't listen to. I mean, it's like sometimes they're listening, sometimes it goes in. I just hope they've learned a lesson that if you play discipline. I mean, if we had 9 penalties again, we ain't winning the game. We're not winning. It's too close for a game, and you're going to give it up. I mean, it seemed like every time we had a turnover the week before, there was a penalty at the same time. This week, we got a scoop and score out of Dane Jackson. It was a textbook strip by Quentin Virginis. Just perfect. Then you go to Watts and then Theron's in it. I mean, last week it's every time you had a chance to light the team on fire with something. I mean, DeMar Hamlin takes an interception all the way down to the 3-yard line or whatever, and it gets called back. It's just like you can't. I mean, we must have the worst luck in the world. But sometimes that happens. I can't tell you about the penalties. Maybe can't tell you about them. So I don't know what we did, but it finally struck home, and hopefully they learned again. They did a heck of a job, and I told them that last night. We just got to keep doing that. Offense has 0 penalties, special teams 0. And they get you to jump off sides every week. They get you someone with the clap deal there, but they get people to and they jumped off sides too. So yeah, they did.
Any additional questions?
Pat, I know you coached there when you were at Michigan State, but what will it mean to take a team into that environment given the history of Notre Dame?
How about the history of Pittsburgh? We got some great history here. I mean, Notre Dame's a great institution, great place. I'm Catholic. I love Notre Dame, but this is a football game. We're going to walk in there. It's a business trip. We're going to go stay in the hotel. We're going to get them up in the morning. We're going to drive our bus to the stadium. We're going to get out. We're going to go through some cement walls into to a locker room, and we're going to put our gear on. We're going to go out and go. And I don't know if there's a difference. It's all about a football game. We're not going to go to the Basilica, go see Touchdown Jesus. We're not taking 8 tours. We're going to play a football game.
Will the atmosphere affect Kessman? Are you comfortable sending him out there on the road to play for a 55-yard range?
I was comfortable last year sending him on the road. We talked last night just with his 3 big kicks. I'll be shocked if he's not ACC Player of the Week, special teams, because he had that kind of. EJ usually gives this announcement here, so maybe he'd probably get a text message as we talk. But that guy, I've had confidence a year ago, and you think about how far he's come from Youngstown State a year ago. His first, you talk about how guys mature, and we got some young guys on this football team, and you think about where Kirk Christodoulou is going to be, next year at this time. I mean, I think he's got a cannon. He's a little inconsistent still, but he's come, a long way in 4 games, and that's what's going to happen with youth. I mean, Jake Scarton just with his holds, but Kessman's those were 3 big-time kicks. Those weren't, little league kicks. But he did that a year ago in practice. But it takes time. I mean, Jerry didn't become a great writer overnight. It's taken probably a lot longer than his boss would like. Sorry. But I'm impressed with what he's done, and he can go on the road. It doesn't faze him. He's got a lot of confidence right now too. That just helped his confidence. He can hit it from anywhere. If you let a crowd bother you, then you got issues. I think he'll be fired up for it. I think he'll embrace it.
Anticipate on having Taser back for the game on Saturday.
Tell him. You told him. Thanks. I don't know.
Pat, I got a question for you. Back here. The blocks here. How many block concerts you been to left time?
1.
1. Okay.
2.
All right. When you talk about athleticism, I want to learn tell me how you learned to jump over the top of everybody into that mosh pit on Saturday. Have you seen that video?
No. I don't know what you're talking about. Is that the last question?
After the game.
I don't know about any concerts either, but I don't have any idea. I forget where I was. I must have lost my mind.
There were 16 kickoffs in the game Saturday, one return for 15 yards. Would you be in favor of eliminating kickoffs?
Well, I mean, you know, we did a study before the year, Jared. It's a great question, great football question right there. We did a study before the game, and you know, I know people get upset when you do this, but we gave Maurice French a rule. Coach Powell did a great job. You stand on the goal line, inside the hash, and if you have to take one step backwards or you take one step to the right, you fair catch it because it's just too hard to get it timed up. And you look at even when they took it out, where did we tag them out? They returned one kick and they got it to the 20-yard line. If he does this, I think it was a 20, but you know, if you do this or it goes out of the end zone, you get to 25. So in favor of it, yeah. And then we won't have any mess ups where we fair catch it on the 2 and take a knee or whatever. We don't fair catch it or you drop it. There's a lot of new rules with that rule. But we look back a year ago and you know, when you return one in the opener for a touchdown, you go, hey, let's return them all. And then after that, then you're getting tagged, and you know we talk about that field position every week about how we're stuck down in the end zone, and you know we're at the 13-yard line, and we're going, you know, average field positions at 19. Some of that is because of, you know, guys trying to make plays and take it out of the end zone, and then you know 25-yard line is a great place to start. Let me tell you, it's a lot better than the 10-yard line or the 15 or the 20, and you know I think you know it's just a matter of you know who's running down the field for you, how are we blocking them. And 25-yard line, but you know, we looked a year ago, we would have had better field position the entire year based on if we would just fair cut every ball. So we even talked about it, you know, beginning of the season, and you take one to the house and you start to get greedy and thinking, let's go make a play. And Maurice is pretty special, and he's a special player. But there's a lot of, you know, it's not just about the returner. It's not just about where he catches it. It's about those guys blocking for you and the guys coming down that are on scholarship too. So I think there's a lot to, you know, eliminate it. Or just keep doing what we're doing. I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, you know, I don't know if you know, it's just more change. I think you know, I don't for a game to start off without a kickoff, it'd kind of be sacrilegious, kind of a little bit. I mean, just kick it off in the end zone, start to 25, and let's go. Just so we can let the kickers do something. They're on scholarship too. They, you know, you get paid a lot of money just to kick field goals and extra points. Might as well at least see if they got legs.